My girlfriend flew to Magaluf for a girls' trip after swearing she wouldn't because she cheated last time, so I texted her ex. That was 3 days ago. She's called the cops, my boss, my landlord, and my mom, while posting crying selfies from Spanish nightclubs. My girlfriend and I have had a rocky relationship with lots of good times and bad times, including when she cheated on me before. It happened during a girls' trip to Hawaii. I didn't want her to go back then, but she twisted things around on me, saying I was being jealous and trying to control her, then complained about me to all her friends who started texting me, saying I was a massive controlling jerk. I finally relented and let her go, and on this trip was when she cheated on me for the first time. The way I found out was through one of her friends. This friend, Stacy, was the only one out of the 5 not going who did not message me originally, and was the one to inform me. She took a video of my girlfriend making out with some guy at a club. My heart shattered, and as much as I wanted to up and leave there and then, I didn't. I waited for my girlfriend to get back home and confronted her. I asked her how the trip was, and she said it was fine. I asked her if she had anything to say about it, but she did not. I kept trying to pull it out of her for a few hours until I dropped the bomb. I know you cheated on me. What are you on about? This. I handed her the picture, and watched her start to stutter and realize in shock that I knew what she had done. She asked me where I got this, and I mistakenly told her that Stacy showed me it. She cursed out Stacy, but I told her that Stacy is not relevant here. I asked her to give me one good reason I should stay. She went on a rant about how much she loves me, how it was a drunk mistake, how I should not throw away the last 3 years because of an accident. Like a fool, I believed her words, but I set one boundary with her, and that she was no longer allowed to go on girls' holidays, and if she did, we were over. She agreed, and our relationship for the last year was really great. I had actually gotten over the cheating, but a month ago she sat me down and brought up wanting to go on a girls' holiday again, this time to Magaluf. I looked at her and told her to remember our deal, that she has proved to me that she cannot be trusted on holidays away with her girlfriends, and there was no way she was going if she wanted to stay in this relationship. She tried to get her way however she could. She hemmed, she hawed, she called me controlling again, asked how it was fair for her to be punished forever for a dumb mistake. I did not engage, however. I just kept telling her no. She even stopped as low as trying to go down and give me brain in order to get her way, but I pushed her off. She went upstairs and remained there for a few hours. She came back down eventually and told me she has decided not to go on the trip and that she values our relationship more than a holiday. I told her I was happy to hear that, and I thought that was that. Nothing was said about the holiday from either of us until 2 days ago. I honestly had no suspicions that anything shady was going to happen. I woke up that morning to find her not in bed. That was normal. She wakes up early most days. I went to the kitchen. She was not there. The bathroom or living room. No sign of her. Where could she have gone? I went back upstairs and called her, but got no answer. As I went to get dressed, I saw that many of her clothes were missing. Utterly confused by this, I called her again. No answer. Now I was panicking. I was starting to suspect she had gone away, but pushed that to the back of my mind. I then looked for her suitcase and noticed that the suitcase was gone too. Her passport was no longer in the drawer she always kept it either. That confirmed the suspicion in my mind. She had left and not told me. I cried when I realized. I forgave her and trusted her again, only for her to stab me in the back. I frankly did not care whether she cheated on me or not on this trip. We were over in my eyes. I was very dull that day, even called in sick to work, and tried calling her many times, but she did not answer. My girlfriend also forgot to turn off her Snap map, and her location showed Magaluf. I'm not proud of what I did, but I wanted to avenge my girlfriend for what she had done to me. I knew her ex. I knew that he was bi. I was bi too. I had him on socials and had met him a couple of times. He seemed like a cool guy. They broke up due to going to different states for college, so there was no bad blood. I texted him the next day out of the blue, and we got to talking. First, there was small talk, but eventually I told him what his ex had done. He was baffled and consoled me. Talking to him actually made me feel better. Towards the latter end of our conversation, I texted him asking if he was free to come over tomorrow for a coffee and to watch the NBA game. We both support the same team. He said yes enthusiastically and said he'll be over at 6 or so after work. It's now the afternoon, and I'm scared. I think he knows I'm bi too. I kept checking my phone every few minutes, watching the time crawl by. 3:30 became 4, then 4:30. My hands shook as I straightened the couch cushions for the 5th time. The NBA game wasn't until 7, which meant we'd have at least an hour of just talking. What was I even thinking? I grabbed a beer from the fridge, then put it back. Too early. My stomach churned as I paced around the living room, picking up random items and putting them down again. The apartment felt too quiet without Jessica here, but for once, the silence didn't bother me. It felt like freedom. My phone buzzed. Tyler had texted asking if I needed him to bring anything. I stared at the message for a full minute before typing back that I had everything covered. 3 dots appeared immediately, then disappeared, then appeared again. Finally, his response came through. Just a thumbs up emoji and, "See you soon." I rushed to the bathroom and splashed cold water on my face. The mirror showed dark circles under my eyes from 2 nights of barely sleeping. First discovering Jessica had left, then staying up late texting with Tyler. Our conversation had shifted from Jessica to basketball, then to work, then to random topics that kept us both typing until almost 2 in the morning. The apartment needed cleaning. I grabbed the vacuum and ran it over the already clean carpet, then wiped down the kitchen counters that didn't have a speck on them. Anything to keep my hands busy and my mind from spiraling. Was this really about revenge? The question kept pushing its way to the front of my thoughts. 5 o'clock came faster than expected. I changed shirts 3 times, finally settling on a casual button-down that Jessica had always said looked good on me. Then I changed out of it, not wanting to wear anything she'd complimented. I ended up in a simple black t-shirt and jeans. My phone lit up with a Snapchat notification. Against my better judgment, I opened it. One of Jessica's friends had posted a story. There was Jessica in the background, drink in hand, laughing with some guy I didn't recognize. My chest tightened, but the pain felt different this time, more like disappointment than heartbreak. I screenshot the image without thinking, then immediately deleted it. What was the point? I already knew she was there, already knew she'd chosen a party over our relationship, over the one boundary I'd set after forgiving her. The doorbell rang at 5:45, 15 minutes early. My heart jumped into my throat as I walked to the door, pausing with my hand on the knob. This was it. Whatever happened next would change everything. Tyler stood there holding a six-pack of craft beer and wearing a genuine smile. He looked exactly like I remembered. Tall, athletic build, with kind eyes that crinkled at the corners when he smiled. "Hey man, hope I'm not too early." Traffic was lighter than expected. I stepped aside to let him in, catching a hint of his cologne as he passed. "No problem. Come on in. Thanks for the beer." He set the six-pack on the kitchen counter and looked around. "Nice place. Very clean." He grinned. "Did you stress clean? I do that too when I'm nervous." The honesty caught me off guard. I laughed, some of the tension leaving my shoulders. "Maybe a little. It's been a weird few days." Tyler's expression softened. "I bet. How are you holding up?" "Really?" I started to give an automatic fine, but stopped myself. "Honestly, I don't know. Part of me is angry, part of me is relieved, and part of me," I trailed off, not sure how to finish that sentence. "Part of you is wondering what you're doing inviting your girlfriend's ex over," Tyler supplied with a knowing look. Heat crept up my neck. Something like that. He grabbed 2 beers and handed me one. "Look, I'll be straight with you. When you texted me, I figured you might be looking for some kind of revenge thing. And honestly, I get it. What Jessica did to you is messed up." He paused, taking a sip. "But I came because you seemed like you needed a friend. If that's all this is, that's cool with me." The directness was refreshing after years of Jessica's manipulation and mind games. I found myself relaxing as we moved to the living room. Tyler sprawled comfortably on one end of the couch while I took the other. "She was like that when we dated too," Tyler said after a moment. "The manipulation, I mean. Making you feel crazy for having boundaries. I just got lucky that distance ended things before it got too bad." "How long were you together?" I asked, genuinely curious. "About 2 years. Met junior year of college." He shook his head with a rueful smile. "She was intense. Everything was either amazing or terrible. No in between. When things were good, I felt like the luckiest guy alive. When they were bad," he shrugged. "Well, you know, I did know. The constant emotional whiplash, never knowing which version of Jessica I'd get. The Hawaii thing broke me," I admitted. "But when she cried and begged, I convinced myself it was just a mistake, that she'd learned her lesson. People don't change unless they want to," Tyler said simply. "And Jessica never thinks she's wrong." We fell into easy conversation, trading stories about our experiences with Jessica. Not in a mean way, just two people who'd been through similar situations finding understanding. Tyler was easy to talk to, his laughter genuine and frequent. I found myself noticing things, the way he gestured when he got excited about something, how he really listened when I talked instead of just waiting for his turn to speak. "Can I ask you something?" Tyler said during a lull in conversation. "Why did you really invite me over?" I stared at my beer bottle, peeling at the label. "I honestly don't know. At first, maybe it was about getting back at her, but talking to you yesterday, you made me feel better." "Understood. I haven't had that in a long time." "Jessica has a way of isolating people," Tyler observed, "making you feel like she's the only one who really gets you, while simultaneously making you feel like you're never quite good enough." The accuracy of that statement hit hard. When was the last time I'd hung out with my own friends? Jessica always had some issue with them. This one was a bad influence. That one was trying to break us up. Eventually, it became easier to just avoid the conflict. "You know what the really messed up part is?" I said. "I'm sitting here with you, and I feel more relaxed than I have in months. No walking on eggshells, no wondering if I'm about to say the wrong thing." Tyler shifted slightly closer on the couch. "That's not messed up. That's what normal human interaction is supposed to feel like." My phone buzzed. Jessica's name appeared on the screen. After 2 days of silence, now she was calling. I stared at it, letting it ring. "You going to answer that?" Tyler asked. "Number." I declined the call and set my phone face down on the coffee table. I'm done jumping when she says jump. Tyler smiled, and something fluttered in my chest. "Good for you." The game started, and we settled in to watch. Tyler was animated, cheering and groaning at all the right moments. When our team scored, he threw his arms up in celebration, accidentally knocking over his empty beer bottle. We both lunged for it, hands touching as we caught it before it hit the ground. Neither of us pulled away immediately. "Sorry," Tyler said softly, but he was smiling. "Don't be," I heard myself say. We stayed frozen for a moment before Tyler cleared his throat and pulled back. "I should probably tell you something. When you texted me yesterday, I was surprised, but not upset. I always thought you seemed like a good guy. Jessica didn't deserve you." My phone buzzed again. Then it started ringing. Jessica wasn't giving up. "She's persistent," Tyler observed. "She hates being ignored." I grabbed my phone, intending to turn it off, but saw she'd sent several texts. Against my better judgment, I glanced at them. "Baby, please answer. I can explain. It's not what you think. The girls pressured me. I love you." I showed Tyler the messages. He whistled low. Classic Jessica. No actual apology, just manipulation. "The girls pressured me," I read out loud. "Like she's not a grown woman who can make her own choices." "Remember when she used to do that thing where she'd turn every argument around?" Tyler asked. "Suddenly you were the bad guy for being upset about something she did?" "Every single time." I turned my phone off completely and tossed it aside. I'm done. Whether she cheats in Magaluf or not, I'm done. Tyler studied me carefully. You mean that? Yeah, I should have left after Hawaii. I definitely should have left when she tried to manipulate me into letting her go on this trip. I met his eyes. I'm done being disrespected. That's really good to hear, Tyler said quietly. You deserve better. The game continued, but I found myself paying less attention to it and more to Tyler. The way he leaned forward when the action got intense, how he absently played with his beer bottle when thinking, the genuine joy on his face when our team pulled ahead. I have a confession, I said during a commercial break. I did have ulterior motives for inviting you over, at first. Tyler turned to face me fully. And now? Now I'm just glad you're here. This is the best I've felt in, I can't even remember how long. He was quiet for a moment, then said, Can I make a confession too? When I saw your text yesterday, my first thought wasn't about Jessica at all. It was that I finally had an excuse to talk to you. My heart rate picked up. Really? Really? I always wondered what you were like when Jessica wasn't around. She talked about you sometimes when we were together, before you two met, made you sound like this amazing guy she was crazy about. Then after you got together, I'd see you at parties sometimes and think, he paused, seeming to choose his words carefully. I'd think that you looked tired, not physically, just worn down. That's exactly how I felt, I admitted. Like I've been running a marathon I can't ever finish. Tyler reached over and squeezed my shoulder. The touch sent warmth through me. Well, you just stopped running. How does it feel? Terrifying, I said honestly, but also free. We went back to watching the game, but the atmosphere had shifted. There was an awareness between us now, an acknowledgement of something unspoken. When Tyler reached for another beer, he sat back down closer than before. When I stretched my legs out, our knees touched, and neither of us moved away. The game ended with our team winning by 12 points. Tyler cheered, turning to me with bright eyes. Man, that was awesome. Thompson was on fire tonight. Best game he's had all season, I agreed. We started discussing the plays, analyzing the strategy, debating whether the coach should have called timeout earlier in the fourth quarter. It was easy, comfortable, natural in a way my conversations with Jessica never were. She'd always acted interested in basketball because I was, but I could tell she was just humoring me. You hungry? I asked, when I realized it was almost 9. I could order pizza or something. Starving, actually. Pizza sounds perfect. I grabbed my phone to order, forgetting I'd turned it off. When it powered back on, the notifications exploded. 15 missed calls, 32 texts, 3 voicemails. Wow, Tyler said, looking at the screen. That's a lot. I scrolled through some of the texts. They ranged from pleading to angry to desperate and back to pleading. One particularly manipulative one caught my eye. If you don't answer me, I'll have to assume you're doing something you shouldn't be. The projection is real, Tyler muttered, reading over my shoulder. I deleted them all without reading the rest and pulled up the pizza app. What do you like on your pizza? We ordered and settled back on the couch to wait. Tyler had shifted so he was facing me more directly, one arm draped across the back of the couch. Can I ask you something personal? He said. Go for it. When did you know you were bi? I thought about it. College, I guess. But I didn't really accept it until after. Jessica actually knows, though she always acted weird about it. Like she was worried I'd leave her for a guy or something. That tracks, Tyler said. She was weird about it with me too. Always making jokes that weren't really jokes, you know? Yes, I said, relieved someone else had experienced that. Like she was cool with it in theory, but not in practice. Exactly. Meanwhile, she had no problem drooling over actresses and calling it girl crushes. He rolled his eyes. The double standard was real. We talked more about our experiences, finding even more common ground. Tyler was easy to open up to, and I found myself sharing things I hadn't told anyone. How isolated I'd felt, how I'd started doubting my own perceptions, how exhausting it was to constantly manage Jessica's emotions. You know what you need? Tyler said suddenly. A vacation. A real one. Not some drama-filled trip where you're worried the whole time. That sounds amazing, I said wistfully. I haven't had a real vacation in years. Jessica always wanted to go places to be seen, you know? Never just to relax. Where would you go? If you could go anywhere. I considered it. Somewhere quiet. Mountains maybe, or a lake. Somewhere I could just breathe. That sounds perfect, Tyler said softly. You should do it. After all this is sorted out, just take off for a week. Reset. The pizza arrived, and we ate while talking about travel, sharing stories of places we'd been and places we wanted to go. Tyler had backpacked through Europe after college, something I'd always wanted to do, but Jessica had called dirty and pointless. You should definitely do it, Tyler encouraged. It's incredible. Just you and a backpack and the freedom to go wherever you want. Maybe I will, I said, and for the first time, it felt possible, like I could actually make decisions for myself again. It was getting late, but neither of us made any move to end the evening. We'd migrated closer throughout the night, and now we were sitting with barely any space between us. I could feel the warmth radiating from Tyler's body, could smell his cologne mixed with beer and pizza. I should probably head out soon, Tyler said reluctantly. Work tomorrow. Yeah, me too, I said, but didn't move. We sat there for another moment, the air charged with possibility. Then Tyler turned to face me fully. Peter, I need to be honest about something. I like you, not just as a friend, not as some rebound thing. I've been attracted to you since we first met, but you were with Jessica, and I'd never— He paused, running a hand through his hair. I guess what I'm saying is, I don't want you to think I'm taking advantage of the situation. If you just need a friend right now, I can be that. My heart was pounding so hard I was sure he could hear it. What if I don't want just a friend? Tyler's eyes searched mine. then I'd say you should probably make sure you're making decisions for the right reasons, not just because you're hurt or angry. He was right, of course. The mature thing would be to wait, to process the end of my relationship before starting something new. But sitting there with Tyler, I realized something important. You know what? For 4 years, I've been making decisions based on Jessica's feelings, avoiding things that might upset her, doing things I didn't want to do to keep the peace. Right now, for the first time in years, I want to make a decision based solely on what I want. And what do you want? Tyler asked softly. Instead of answering with words, I leaned in and kissed him. Tyler responded to the kiss immediately, his hand coming up to cup my face as he deepened it. The world narrowed down to just this moment, the warmth of his lips, the slight scratch of stubble, the way he tasted like beer and possibility. When we finally pulled apart, we were both breathing hard. Peter, Tyler whispered, his forehead resting against mine. Are you sure about this? Before I could answer, my phone started buzzing violently on the coffee table. Not a call this time, multiple texts coming through in rapid succession. The screen lit up with notification after notification. Tyler pulled back slightly, glancing at the phone. She's really going for it tonight. I reached for the phone, intending to turn it off again, but the preview of one message caught my eye. I know Tyler is there. My blood ran cold. I unlocked the phone despite myself, scrolling through the barrage of messages. I can see his car outside our apartment. How could you do this to me? While I'm away? You're such a hypocrite, acting like I'm the cheater when you're literally with my ex right now. Tyler read them over my shoulder, his jaw tightening. How does she even know what car I drive? Another text came through. Stacy told me everything. My stomach dropped. Stacy? The same friend who had exposed Jessica's cheating in Hawaii? Why would she be reporting to Jessica now? This doesn't make sense, I muttered, scrolling back through the messages. Stacy hates what Jessica did. She's the one who showed me the video. Tyler frowned, pulling out his own phone. Hold on, let me check something. He scrolled through his social media, then showed me his screen. Look at this. Stacy posted a story 2 hours ago. She's at a bar downtown. Tag shows she's with. Oh, the photo showed Stacy at a table with several people, including Jessica's friend group, the same ones who had harassed me about being controlling before the Hawaii trip. They got to her, I said, feeling sick. They must have convinced her to spy for them. Or threatened her, Tyler said grimly. Jessica's good at turning people against anyone who crosses her. Stacy probably had to choose between helping them or becoming their next target. My phone rang. This time it wasn't Jessica. It was a number I didn't recognize. Against my better judgment, I answered. Peter? It was Stacy's voice, but she sounded strange, slurred. Peter, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to. They made me. Stacy, are you hammered? They kept buying me drinks, she said, her words running together. Said if I didn't tell them what you were doing, they'd make sure everyone at work knew about that thing from college. I can't lose my nursing job, Peter. I'm so sorry. The line went dead. I tried calling back, but it went straight to voicemail. They got her hammered and blackmailed her, I said, anger building in my chest. This is exactly what Jessica does. She can't just accept consequences. She has to destroy anyone who doesn't fall in line. Tyler's expression was dark. What thing from college? What are they holding over her? I don't know, but knowing Jessica's friends, they probably dug until they found something. A photo, a mistake, something they could twist. I threw my phone down in disgust. God, why did I stay with her for so long? Hey, Tyler said gently, taking my hand. Don't do that to yourself. She's a master manipulator. It's what she does. We sat in tense silence for a moment. Then Tyler's phone buzzed. He glanced at it, and his face went pale. What is it? I asked. He showed me the screen. It was a text from an unknown number. Stay away from Peter or I'll tell your boss about Miami. Miami? I asked. Tyler's jaw clenched. A bachelor party 2 years ago. Things got a little wild. Nothing illegal, but there are photos that could be misinterpreted, especially by my conservative boss. She's threatening your job now too? I stood up, pacing angrily. This is insane. She's the one who left. She's the one who broke our agreement. Peter. Tyler stood too, catching my arm gently. This is what she wants. To make you spiral, to make you feel guilty, to make you come crawling back. My phone buzzed again. This time it was a photo. Jessica at a club in Magaluf, her arms around some guy, clearly about to kiss him. The message underneath read, "This could have been avoided if you'd just let me have my fun. Now look what you made me do." She's really trying to blame me for her cheating. Again, I laughed bitterly. Classic Jessica. Tyler took my phone and set it aside. Okay, we need to think strategically here. She's trying to control the narrative, make you the bad guy. What's our move? I looked at him, surprised by the hour. You don't have to get involved in this. She's already threatening your job. Peter. Tyler's voice was firm. I'm not going anywhere. I've dealt with Jessica's manipulation before, remember? I know her playbook. Another barrage of texts hit my phone, this time from Jessica's friends. How dare you cheat on Jess while she's away? She's heartbroken. You're trash. Tyler, really? Her ex? That's low even for you. They're all in on it, I said, showing Tyler. The whole group is coordinating. Tyler pulled out his phone again. Two can play at that game. He started typing rapidly. I'm texting my friend Marcus. He was at that Miami bachelor party. He has the actual context for those photos. And my friend Sarah from college knows the real story about why Jessica and I broke up. What real story? I asked. Tyler hesitated. I never told you the whole truth. We didn't just break up because of distance. She was already laying groundwork to cheat. I found texts between her and some guy from her internship. When I confronted her, she tried to gaslight me, say I was imagining things. The distance thing was just a convenient excuse to end it without drama. My phone rang again. This time it was my mother. My heart sank as I answered. Peter, honey, I just got the strangest call from Jessica. She's crying, saying you're having an affair? What's going on? Mom, it's not. She left. She went on a trip I specifically asked her not to go on. We're broken up. She said she's on a work trip, and you have some man at the apartment? My mother sounded confused. Peter, is this about, my sexuality? Mom, Jessica has known I'm bi for years. This isn't about that. I took a deep breath. Jessica went to Magaluf after promising she wouldn't. She's trying to manipulate the situation because I'm done with her. There was a pause. She did sound a bit theatrical, and she called me from a very loud place for a work trip. Because she's at a club in Spain, not on a work trip. I felt exhausted suddenly. Mom, I'll explain everything later, okay? Just, please don't believe whatever she tells you. Of course, honey. You know I trust you. She paused. Is the man Tyler? She mentioned that name. I glanced at Tyler, who was still typing furiously on his phone. Yeah, he's a friend. He's helping me deal with all this. All right, call me tomorrow when things are calmer. I love you. Love you too, Mom. As soon as I hung up, Tyler's phone rang. He looked at the caller ID and grimaced. My sister, he answered. Hey, Liz. No, I'm not. What? Jessica called you? How does she even have your number? I could hear his sister's raised voice through the phone. Tyler's expression grew darker as he listened. Liz, she's lying. No, I'm not destroying someone's relationship. Liz, listen to me. She's the one who… He paused, frustration clear on his face. Fine, I'll call you tomorrow when you're ready to actually listen. He hung up and threw his phone on the couch. She's calling our families. She's actually calling our families. The apartment suddenly felt too small. I walked to the window, looking out at the city lights. Tyler's car was indeed visible on the street below. Had Stacy been watching the apartment this whole time? I should go, Tyler said quietly. This is escalating beyond what either of us expected. I turned to face him. That's exactly what she wants. She wants to isolate me, make me feel like I'm toxic to be around. I've been through this before. Tyler moved closer, his expression conflicted. Peter, she's threatening my job, turning my family against me. Maybe we should wait until things calm down. Things won't calm down, I said firmly. Not with Jessica. She'll keep escalating until she gets what she wants. Me, alone, with no support system, ready to take her back because I have no other option. My phone buzzed. Another photo from Jessica, this time of her crying in what looked like a bathroom. The mascara running down her face was almost artistic. Look what you've done to me. I can't even enjoy my trip because I'm so heartbroken. Tyler saw it too. She's good. That almost looks genuine. She practiced crying on command in college. She was proud of it. I deleted the photo. Said it helped her get out of tickets. A knock at the door made us both freeze. It was past 11. Who would be visiting now? I looked through the peephole and my heart sank. It was my neighbor, Mrs. Chen, looking concerned. I opened the door partway. Hi, Mrs. Chen. Is everything okay? Peter, I'm sorry to bother you so late, but Jessica called me. She's worried about you, said you might be having some kind of breakdown. She asked me to check on you. I forced a smile. I'm fine, Mrs. Chen. Jessica and I are having some relationship issues, but I'm okay. She peered past me, clearly trying to see inside. She mentioned you might have someone dangerous over? No one dangerous, I assured her. Just a friend. Thank you for checking, but I'm really fine. She didn't look convinced, but nodded slowly. All right, but if you need anything, I'll let you know. Thank you. I closed the door and leaned against it. She's calling the neighbors now. Tyler ran his hands through his hair. This is insane. How is she even doing all this from Spain? She's probably got her friends helping, dividing up the calls. I walked back to the living room, exhaustion hitting me like a wave. This is psychological warfare. My phone lit up with an email notification. It was from my landlord. My stomach dropped as I read it. Peter, I received a concerning call about potential domestic disturbance at your unit. While I'm sure it's a misunderstanding, I need to remind you about the guest policy in your lease agreement. She called my landlord. I showed Tyler the email. She's trying to get me evicted. Tyler's phone buzzed. He looked at it and his face went white. It's my boss, texting me at 11 p.m. He read the message aloud. Tyler, I received some concerning information about your behavior. We need to discuss this first thing tomorrow morning. No, I said, guilt washing over me. Tyler, I'm so sorry. I never meant for… Stop. Tyler's voice was firm. This isn't your fault. This is Jessica being Jessica. He squared his shoulders. And you know what? I'm done letting her control people with fear. He pulled up his phone and started typing. I'm emailing my boss right now, explaining the situation, attaching the context for those Miami photos, and making it clear that this is harassment from an ex's current partner. What if it backfires? Then it backfires. Tyler looked at me steadily, but I'm not letting her win. Not again. My phone rang. Jessica's friend Mia this time. I almost didn't answer, but Tyler nodded encouragingly. What do you want, Mia? Peter, you need to stop this nonsense right now. Her voice was sharp. Jessica is a mess. She's drinking herself sick because of what you're doing. What I'm doing. She left. She went on the trip I specifically asked her not to. Because you're controlling. You can't ban someone from seeing their friends. I didn't ban her from seeing friends. I set one boundary after she cheated. That was a year ago. And now you're revenge cheating with her ex? That's sick, Peter. I took a deep breath. Mia, we're done. Jessica and I are over. What I do now is none of her business or yours. You can't just… I hung up and blocked her number. Then I started going through my phone, blocking all of Jessica's friends one by one. Good for you, Tyler said. Set those boundaries. Another knock at the door. This time I didn't even check the peephole before yanking it open, ready to tell Mrs. Chen to leave me alone. But it wasn't Mrs. Chen. It was two police officers. Good evening, sir. We received a welfare check request. Mind if we come in? My mouth went dry. A welfare check? Caller was concerned about potential self-harm. Said you've been making concerning statements. Tyler appeared behind me. Officers, this is harassment. His ex-girlfriend is trying to cause problems because he won't take her calls. The officers exchanged glances. Sir, we just need to make sure everyone is safe. May we come in? I stepped aside, letting them enter. They looked around the apartment, taking in the pizza boxes and beer bottles. Have you been drinking tonight, sir? One officer asked. A couple beers. I'm not hammered. Any weapons in the home? Number. Are you having thoughts of hurting yourself or others? No, absolutely not. My ex is in Spain and is upset that I'm moving on. She's been calling everyone we know trying to cause problems. The officers asked a few more questions, then seemed satisfied. All right, seems like a false alarm, but sir, you might want to consider getting a restraining order if this harassment continues. After they left, I sank onto the couch, head in my hands. She called the cops. She actually called the cops. Tyler sat beside me, pulling me into his arms. Hey, we're okay. We handled it. Your job, though, and my landlord, and we'll deal with it, Tyler said firmly. All of it, together. My phone buzzed with another text from Jessica. This can all stop if you just answer me. We need to talk about us. I showed Tyler. He took my phone and typed a response. There is no us. I'm done. Stop harassing me and everyone I know, or I'll be getting that restraining order the police suggested. You sure? He asked, thumb hovering over send. Send it. He did. Then he turned my phone completely off and set it aside. She's going to escalate, I warned. Probably, Tyler agreed, but we're not playing defense anymore. Tomorrow, we document everything. Every text, every call to our families, the police visit. We build a harassment case. You'd do that, even with your job at risk? Tyler cupped my face in his hands. Peter, I've watched from the sidelines for 2 years as she dimmed your light. I'm not watching anymore, and I'm certainly not running because she throws a tantrum. I kissed him then, pouring all my gratitude and growing feelings into it. When we pulled apart, Tyler's eyes were dark. Stay, I whispered. Please stay tonight. Peter, not for that. Just, I don't want to be alone, and I don't want her to win. Tyler studied my face for a long moment, then nodded. Okay, I'll stay. We cleaned up the pizza boxes and beer bottles in comfortable silence. Tyler borrowed some sleep clothes while I double-checked that the door was locked. The police visit had shaken me more than I wanted to admit. As we got ready for bed, Tyler's phone rang. His boss again. He stared at it, then declined the call. You should answer, I said. Explain. At midnight? Number. That's what Jessica wants. Everyone panicking, reacting without thinking. He set his phone to do not disturb. I'll handle it in the morning, with a clear head and documentation. We lay in bed, not touching but aware of each other. The apartment was quiet, except for the distant sound of traffic. Tyler? I whispered into the darkness. Yeah? Thank you. For not running. For standing up to her. He rolled over to face me. You stood up to her first. That took real courage. I'm scared, I admitted. Of what she'll do next. Of losing my apartment. Of your job. Hey, Tyler found my hand under the covers, squeezing gently. We're going to be okay. She's showing everyone exactly who she is right now. The mask is off. What if people believe her? Then they weren't really your people to begin with. We talked quietly for a while longer, making plans for the morning. Tyler would contact a lawyer friend about the harassment. I would start documenting everything and reach out to my landlord with my side of the story. We'd face whatever came next together. Eventually, Tyler's breathing evened out as he fell asleep. I lay awake a bit longer, processing everything that had happened. In one night, Jessica had tried to destroy my reputation, my home, my potential new relationship, and Tyler's career, all because I'd finally said no to her. But something felt different this time. I wasn't alone. I wasn't scrambling to appease her or minimize damage. I was standing my ground with someone beside me who understood exactly what we were up against. My phone, still turned off, sat silent on the nightstand. I knew it would be full of more threats, manipulation, and lies when I turned it on. But for now, in the quiet darkness with Tyler sleeping peacefully beside me, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Peace. The next morning came too quickly. I woke to the sound of Tyler's phone vibrating insistently on the nightstand. He groaned, reaching for it. 7 missed calls from my boss, he muttered. This should be fun. I made coffee while Tyler called his boss back, pacing in the living room. I could only hear his side of the conversation, but it sounded tense. No, sir, that's not. If you'd let me explain. The photos are from a bachelor party 2 years ago. Yes, sir. I understand the company's reputation. When he finally hung up, his face was grim. I have to go in for a meeting. HR will be there. Tyler, I'm so sorry. Don't. He accepted the coffee I offered, taking a long sip. This isn't your fault. And honestly, if they fire me over some out-of-context photos from a legal party 2 years ago, maybe it's not where I want to work anyway. I turned my phone on, bracing myself. The notifications were worse than expected. 57 texts, 23 missed calls, 18 voicemails, and that was just from Jessica. Jesus, Tyler said, looking over my shoulder. I scrolled through, screenshotting everything. The texts ranged from tearful apologies to vicious threats to bizarre accusations. One claimed I'd stolen money from her. Another said I was the one who'd pressured her to go to Magaluf as some kind of twisted test. She's constructing an alternate reality, I said, feeling sick. And she's going to make everyone believe it. Tyler set down his coffee cup with determination. Number, she's not. He pulled out his phone. Remember I mentioned my friend Sarah? She's a social media manager. She deals with online harassment and reputation management. I'm calling her. While Tyler made calls, I listened to some of the voicemails. Jessica's voice ranged from sobbing to screaming to eerily calm. In one, she detailed all the ways I'd supposedly wronged her over the years. In another, she promised to forgive me if I just called her back. A knock at the door interrupted my listening. This time, I checked the peephole carefully. It was a delivery driver with a huge bouquet of flowers. I opened the door cautiously. I didn't order any flowers. Says here they're from Jessica? With a note. I accepted them reluctantly. The note read, For my one true love, please forgive me. I'll do anything to make this right. Tyler came over, still on the phone. He raised an eyebrow at the flowers. Love bombing now, I said, tossing the note in the trash. Classic cycle. Attack, then apologize with grand gestures. My phone rang. My landlord. Hi, Mr. Peterson, I answered, trying to sound calm. Peter, I need to speak with you about last night. I had multiple calls about your apartment, including from the police. Mr. Peterson, I can explain. My ex-girlfriend is harassing me because I won't reconcile with her. The police confirmed there was no issue. Be that as it may, I can't have disturbances. If there's another incident, there won't be. I'm documenting everything and considering a restraining order. He sighed. All right. But Peter, I need this resolved quickly. I have other tenants to consider. After I hung up, Tyler finished his call too. Sarah's on it. She's going to help us document everything properly and create a timeline. She says Jessica made a crucial mistake. By involving so many people, she's created witnesses to her harassment. Your meeting, though, is in 2 hours. Plenty of time to shower and change. He paused. Actually, can I borrow a shirt? I don't want to show up in yesterday's clothes. While Tyler showered, I continued documenting. I found Jessica's Instagram and nearly dropped my phone. She'd posted a series of stories from Magaluf, clearly hammered, with various men. The last one, posted just an hour ago, showed her crying with the caption, "When you find out the love of your life is cheating on you while you're away for work." The comments were already piling up. People who didn't know the real story offering sympathy, calling me trash, saying she deserved better. A few mutual friends who knew the truth were pushing back, but they were drowned out by the mob Jessica had cultivated. Tyler emerged from the bathroom, towel around his waist, and I tried not to stare. What? He asked, noticing my expression. I showed him the Instagram posts. His jaw tightened. She's really going all in on the victim narrative. Look at this comment from her friend Becca, I said. Some men just can't handle a strong, independent woman. Like going on a trip you promised not to take is being independent. Tyler found a shirt in my closet that fit him reasonably well. As he dressed, he said, "You know what? Let her create this narrative. The truth has a way of coming out." My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "Hi Peter, this is Marcus, Tyler's friend. He told me what's happening. I have videos from that Miami trip that show the real context. Also, my girlfriend was at the same resort in Magaluf yesterday. Small world, right? She has some interesting videos of Jessica you might want to see." Tyler read it over my shoulder. Marcus is solid. If he says he has evidence, he has evidence. Another knock at the door. This time it was Mrs. Chen again, looking embarrassed. "Peter, I'm so sorry about last night. I've been getting calls all morning from Jessica. She seems unstable. I wanted to apologize for bothering you." "It's okay, Mrs. Chen. You were just being a good neighbor. Is she really in Spain, claiming to be on a work trip?" Mrs. Chen shook her head. The background noise was clearly a nightclub, and she kept slurring her words. After she left, Tyler checked the time. "I should head to my meeting. Will you be okay?" "Yeah, I'm going to meet with Sarah and Marcus. Get all this documented properly." Tyler pulled me close, kissing me softly. "We're going to get through this. She's not going to win. Be careful at your meeting. Don't let them railroad you." "I won't." He kissed me again. "I'll call you as soon as it's over." After Tyler left, I spent the morning organizing evidence. Sarah, Tyler's friend, turned out to be incredibly helpful. She created a shared document where we could compile everything chronologically. The pattern of harassment became undeniable when laid out clearly. Marcus sent over the videos from Miami. They showed a typical bachelor party. Drinks, dancing, some silly games. Nothing scandalous. Nothing that should threaten anyone's job. He also forwarded videos from his girlfriend in Magaluf. Jessica was clearly visible in several, very hammered, very much not on a work trip, and very much wrapped around different men. "This is perfect," Sarah said over the phone. "She's created a provable false narrative. If she tries to escalate legally, this will shut it down fast." My phone rang. A number I didn't recognize, but I answered anyway. "Is this Peter?" The voice was unfamiliar, male, with a British accent. "Yes, mate, this is James. I'm in Magaluf right now. Your girlfriend, is her name Jessica? Blonde, about 5 feet 6 inches, butterfly tattoo on her shoulder?" My stomach dropped. Ex-girlfriend. But yes, why? She's been telling everyone at the resort that her boyfriend cheated on her, trying to get sympathy drinks and hookups. But here's the thing. She's also been showing people your photo, saying you're dangerous, and asking if anyone knows people in your city who could check on you. It's getting weird, mate. Thought you should know. She's trying to recruit strangers to harass me? Seems like. She's proper mental. Last night she was crying to some girls about how you're with her ex-boyfriend now. Then an hour later she was making out with some random bloke. The whole resort's talking about it. I thanked James and added this information to the documentation. Jessica wasn't just orchestrating harassment from her friends. She was trying to recruit strangers. Tyler texted, "Meeting starting. Wish me luck." I spent the next hour anxiously waiting, continuing to document and screenshot everything. More texts came in from Jessica, increasingly unhinged. She'd apparently just woken up and was cycling through emotions rapidly. "I hate you. Please call me. You've ruined my vacation. I love you so much. Tyler is using you. Come to Magaluf and we can work this out. You're dead to me. Baby, please, I need you." Finally, Tyler called. "I still have a job," he said without preamble. Thank God. What happened? I showed them everything. The context for the Miami photos, the harassment from Jessica, the timeline Sarah helped create. HR was actually more concerned about Jessica potentially stalking me at work than about the photos. That's amazing. They're issuing a no trespass order for her at my office building, just in case she tries to show up when she gets back. He paused. "How are you doing?" I filled him in on James's call and the continued harassment. Tyler's voice hardened. "She's trying to recruit flying monkeys." Classic narcissist move. Flying monkeys? People who who do the narcissist's bidding without realizing they're being used, like the Wizard of Oz. My doorbell rang again. This time it was a food delivery, expensive sushi from my favorite restaurant. I hadn't ordered anything. The receipt had a message. You haven't eaten properly in days. Please take care of yourself. All my love, Jay. How does she know I haven't eaten properly? I asked Tyler, unsettled. She doesn't. She's guessing, trying to seem caring and concerned. He paused. Don't eat it, though, just in case. In case she did something to it? The thought hadn't even occurred to me. Better safe than sorry with someone this unstable. I threw the sushi in the dumpster outside, feeling paranoid but not willing to risk it. When I came back up, there was another delivery waiting. A singing telegram. Are you Peter? The performer asked, looking uncomfortable. Yes. He cleared his throat and began singing a terrible rendition of I Will Always Love You, while reading from a card about Jessica's undying devotion. Several neighbors poked their heads out to see what was happening. I wanted to sink into the floor. I'm so sorry, the performer whispered after finishing. She paid triple for the rush job and wouldn't take no for an answer. She seemed intense. After he left, I noticed several neighbors whispering in the hallway. Great. Now I was the building spectacle. My phone rang. My boss this time. Peter, I've been getting some strange calls about you. Something about a mental health crisis? Sir, I'm fine. My ex-girlfriend is harassing me because I won't reconcile with her. I'm so sorry she's involving my workplace. She called here? He sounded shocked. Peter, that's completely inappropriate. Do you need to involve the authorities? I'm documenting everything for a potential restraining order. Take the time you need to sort this out. And Peter, if she contacts the office again, we'll be filing our own complaint. At least my boss was understanding. I added his support to my growing list of positives in this nightmare. Tyler arrived back at my apartment around 2, looking drained but victorious. HR wants me to work from home for the rest of the week, just in case Jessica tries anything at the office. I'm so glad you still have your job. Me too. He collapsed on the couch. Any new developments? I filled him in on the sushi, the singing telegram, and my boss's call. Tyler shook his head. She's spiraling. The loss of control is making her desperate. Should I be worried? Like, physically worried? Tyler considered this carefully. I don't think she'd physically hurt you, but keep documenting everything. The more evidence we have of her instability, the better. We spent the afternoon working on the harassment case. Sarah had connected us with a lawyer friend who specialized in restraining orders. The evidence was overwhelming. In less than 48 hours, Jessica had contacted both our families with lies, harassed our employers, called the police for a false welfare check, attempted to get me evicted, recruited friends and strangers to harass us, posted defamatory content online, sent over 100 texts and calls despite being blocked. This is textbook harassment, the lawyer said over video call. With this documentation, a restraining order should be straightforward. As we were wrapping up the call, my phone buzzed with an alert from my bank. Someone had tried to access my account from an IP address in Spain. She's trying to get into my bank account now? I said, disbelief coloring my voice. Change all your passwords, Tyler said immediately. Everything. Email, social media, banking, everything. I spent the next hour securing all my accounts, my anxiety ratcheting higher with each password change. How did she even know some of these security questions? We dated for 4 years, Tyler reminded me gently. She probably knows a lot of your personal information. My phone rang. Jessica's mother this time. I almost didn't answer, but Tyler encouraged me to. Hi, Mrs. Patterson. Peter, what is going on? Jessica called me hysterical, saying you're having an affair with Tyler. She's talking about flying home early. Mrs. Patterson. Jessica went to Magaluf after promising she wouldn't. Our relationship is over. What I do now is my business. There was a long pause. She went to Magaluf? She told me it was a work retreat. No, ma'am. It's a girls' trip. She's been posting photos from clubs all over Instagram. Another pause. I see. And the cheating in Hawaii? That was real? Yes. Stacy showed me video evidence. Mrs. Patterson sighed heavily. I was afraid of this. Her father and I have been worried about her behavior lately. The lying, the manipulation. Peter, I'm sorry for what she's putting you through. Thank you for understanding. I'll try to talk sense into her, but you know how she is when she's decided she's the victim. She paused. And Peter? Tyler's a good man. I met him a few times when they dated. You deserve someone who treats you well. After hanging up, I felt a small bit of relief. At least Jessica's mother saw through the lies. That was unexpected, Tyler said. Her parents have always been reasonable people. I think they know who their daughter is, even if they don't want to admit it. As evening approached, the harassment seemed to slow. Jessica had posted more crying selfies on Instagram, but the comments were starting to shift. People were noticing inconsistencies in her story. How was she heartbroken about me cheating while simultaneously posting party photos with random men? The narrative is cracking, Sarah observed over text. Keep documenting, but don't engage. Let her hang herself with her own rope. Tyler and I ordered Chinese food from a place Jessica didn't know about, just to be safe. As we ate, I realized this was the most normal I'd felt in days. Thank you, I said suddenly, for staying, for fighting back, for not letting her scare you off. Tyler reached across the table to take my hand. Peter, I need you to understand something. This isn't just about standing up to Jessica. I care about you. I have for a while now. Even with all this chaos, especially with all this chaos, I'm seeing who you really are when pushed to your limit, and you're not crumbling. You're not going back to her. You're standing strong. He squeezed my hand. That's incredibly attractive. Before I could respond, my phone lit up with another call. Stacy. Peter? She sounded sober this time and upset. I'm so sorry about last night. They got me hammered and threatened to tell everyone about something from college. I shouldn't have told them about Tyler's car. Stacy, it's okay. I know they pressured you. No, it's not okay. She was crying now. I promised myself I'd never let her manipulate me again after Hawaii. But they cornered me and I was already hammered and she took a shaky breath. I told them I'm done. I'm blocking all of them. And Peter? I kept copies of everything from Hawaii. Videos, texts, everything. If you need them for legal stuff, they're yours. Thank you, Stacy. That means a lot. Tyler's good for you, she added quietly. I saw how Jessica treated both of you. You deserve better. After she hung up, I felt another small victory. Jessica's network of flying monkeys was starting to see through her. Stacy flipped back, I told Tyler, and she has evidence from Hawaii. The house of cards is falling. My phone buzzed with a text from Jessica. Fine, you win. I'll be home tomorrow. We need to talk. She's coming back early, I said, showing Tyler. His expression hardened. Then we file for the restraining order first thing in the morning, before she lands. You think she'll actually come here? I think she's going to do whatever it takes to regain control, but we'll be ready. We spent the rest of the evening preparing. Tyler would stay the night again, both for emotional support and as a witness if Jessica showed up. We organized all our documentation, backed it up in multiple places, and made plans to meet with the lawyer in the morning. As we got ready for bed, I found myself feeling strangely calm. Yes, Jessica was coming back. Yes, she'd probably escalate, but I wasn't alone. I had Tyler, Sarah, my boss's support, Jessica's mother's understanding, and even Stacy back on side. You okay? Tyler asked, noticing my expression. Yeah, I'm not scared anymore. For the first time in years, I'm not afraid of her reaction. Tyler smiled, pulling me close. Good, because you have nothing to be afraid of. She's shown everyone exactly who she is. The mask is off, and it's not pretty. We fell asleep wrapped around each other, phones on silent, doors locked, ready for whatever tomorrow would bring. Jessica might be coming back, but I wasn't the same person she'd left behind. I'd found my strength, my voice, and someone who stood beside me instead of tearing me down. The war wasn't over, but for the first time, I knew I was going to win. The next morning arrived with Tyler's alarm at 6. We had an appointment with the lawyer at 8, and I wanted to be ready for whatever Jessica might throw at us. Tyler made breakfast while I gathered all our documentation into a folder. Screenshots, recordings, witness statements, everything. My phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. The message was just a photo. Jessica at the airport, clearly heading home. The timestamp showed it was taken 20 minutes ago. She's really coming back, I said, showing Tyler. He checked the flight schedules on his phone. If she's at Palma Airport now, she'll land here around noon. We have time. We drove to the lawyer's office in Tyler's car, both of us constantly checking our mirrors. The paranoia felt justified given Jessica's escalating behavior. The lawyer, a no-nonsense woman named Victoria, reviewed our documentation with raised eyebrows. This is extensive harassment, she said, flipping through the pages. The restraining order should be approved quickly. We'll file for an emergency order today. The process took 2 hours. Forms to fill out, statements to sign, evidence to submit. By 10 o'clock, we were walking out with copies of the filing and a court date for the following week. The emergency order should be served within 24 hours, Victoria explained. Once she's served, she cannot contact you or come within 500 feet. Tyler drove us back to my apartment, but something felt off as we approached. There was a moving truck parked outside. That's weird, I said. Nobody mentioned anyone moving. We parked and headed inside. In the hallway, I ran into my neighbor from across the hall, dragging a suitcase. Hey, are you moving? I asked. He looked uncomfortable. Yeah, sudden decision. Family emergency. He hurried past without making eye contact. Tyler and I exchanged glances. Inside my apartment, everything seemed normal, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. My phone rang. Mrs. Chen. Peter, I thought you should know. Someone was asking about you this morning. A young woman said she was a friend. She was very insistent about which apartment was yours. My blood ran cold. When was this? About an hour ago. She seemed agitated. Jessica must have taken an earlier flight. She was already here. We need to be careful, Tyler said after I hung up. She's probably watching the building. My phone exploded with notifications. 20 texts in rapid succession, all from new numbers. I'm home. We need to talk. I know you're there. Stop hiding behind Tyler. I saw the lawyer's office parking sticker on his car. You can't get a restraining order against Love. I'll wait as long as it takes. Please just talk to me. I'm sorry for everything. We can work this out. She's using burner phones, Tyler said, reading over my shoulder. She knows you blocked her number. Another text came through with a photo. My apartment building taken from across the street. She was watching us right now. Should we call the police? I asked. The restraining order isn't active yet, Tyler pointed out. She technically hasn't done anything illegal by being on a public street. My work phone rang. It was my boss. Peter, there's a woman here claiming to be your girlfriend. She says there's been a misunderstanding and she needs to see you urgently. Security has her in the lobby. Don't let her up, I said quickly. She's my ex and she's harassing me. I'm in the process of getting a restraining order. Understood. I'll have security escort her out. 5 minutes later, my boss called back. She's gone. But Peter, she seemed very unstable. She was crying, then yelling, then crying again. She kept saying you were in danger and she needed to save you. After hanging up, I saw more texts had come through. Your boss is part of the conspiracy. They're all trying to keep us apart. Tyler has brainwashed you. I'll save you, baby. Remember Hawaii? We worked through that. We can work through this too. She's constructing a persecution fantasy, Tyler said. Everyone's against her. She's the hero trying to save you. Classic narcissistic collapse. My phone rang. Marcus this time. Hey man, heads up. Jessica just called me. She got my number somehow and she's asking where Tyler is. She sounds completely unhinged. I didn't tell her anything, but she might be calling others. The texts kept coming, increasingly frantic and disconnected from reality. I forgive you for cheating. Even though I never cheated, Magaluf was a business trip. The photos were faked. Tyler drugged you. That's why you're acting strange. I'm calling your mother. She'll understand. She's rewriting history in real time, I said, feeling sick. Tyler's phone rang. His boss. Tyler, I just received a very concerning visit from a woman claiming you're holding her boyfriend hostage. She tried to push past security. We've called the police. While Tyler dealt with that, I noticed movement outside my window. A car had pulled up and Jessica got out. She was wearing the same clothes from the airport photo, looking disheveled and wild-eyed. She stood on the sidewalk, staring up at my apartment. She's here, I said. Tyler joined me at the window. Jessica was pacing now, gesticulating wildly while talking on her phone. Even from 3 floors up, we could see she was crying. My phone rang. My mother. Peter, Jessica just called me. She's hysterical, saying Tyler kidnapped you and forced you to file a restraining order. What is happening? Mom, I'm fine. I'm in my apartment with Tyler. Jessica is harassing us because I won't take her back. She's literally standing outside my building right now. She sounded completely irrational, my mother said. She kept contradicting herself. First saying you cheated, then saying she never went to Spain, then saying Spain was for work. Peter, I'm worried about her mental state. Me too, Mom. That's why we're getting the restraining order. After I hung up, I saw Jessica had moved. She was now at the building's front door, pressing random buzzers. Someone must have let her in because suddenly she disappeared inside. She's in the building, Tyler said. We could hear her before we saw her, running up the stairs, calling my name. Her voice echoed in the stairwell, alternating between pleading and angry. Peter, I know you're here. Just talk to me. She reached our floor and started pounding on my door. Open up! I love you. We can fix this. Tyler had his phone out, recording. For evidence, he whispered. The pounding intensified. I know Tyler's in there. Tyler, you bastard. You stole him from me. Mrs. Chen's door opened. Young lady, I'm calling the police if you don't stop this racket. Mind your own business, Jessica screamed. This is between me and my boyfriend. Ex-boyfriend, I called through the door. Jessica, you need to leave. The restraining order has been filed. You don't mean that. You're just confused. Tyler confused you. She was sobbing now. Remember our trip to Portland? Remember what you said? You said you'd love me forever. That was before you cheated and lied repeatedly. Please leave. I never cheated. Those photos were fake. The girls made me go to Magaluf. I didn't want to. Tyler showed me his phone. The recording was capturing everything. Her lies, her contradictions, her increasingly unhinged behavior. I'm calling the police, Mrs. Chen announced loudly. Go ahead, Jessica screamed. Call them. They'll see. They'll understand. Peter's being held against his will. The pounding resumed, harder now. It sounded like she was throwing her whole body against the door. If you don't open this door, I'll hurt myself. And it'll be your fault. Jessica, I said firmly, if you hurt yourself, that's your choice. I'm not responsible for your actions. That seemed to break something in her. The pounding stopped, replaced by a wailing sound that barely seemed human. Through the peephole, I could see her collapsed against my door, sobbing hysterically. You were supposed to forgive me, she whimpered. You always forgive me. That's how this works. I mess up, you forgive me. Why won't you forgive me? Sirens in the distance grew closer. Someone had indeed called the police. Jessica heard them too. She scrambled to her feet, mascara streaming down her face. This isn't over. You can't just throw away 4 years. I won't let you. She ran for the stairs, just as 2 police officers appeared in the hallway. They'd apparently met her on a lower floor because we heard shouting, then Jessica's voice getting fainter as they escorted her out. One officer came back up to take our statement. We showed him the restraining order filing and Tyler's recording of Jessica's behavior. We'll include this in our report, the officer said. It should help expedite the restraining order. In the meantime, if she comes back, call us immediately. After they left, Tyler and I stood in my apartment, adrenaline still coursing through us. My phone showed 57 new texts from various numbers, all from Jessica. The last few were especially concerning. This is your last chance. Choose me or lose everything. I know where Tyler lives too. I know where he works. I know his sister's address. We're connected forever. You can't escape our love. She's threatening you now too, I said, showing Tyler. He forwarded the screenshots to Victoria, our lawyer. This just strengthens our case. My phone rang. Jessica's mother. Peter, the police just brought Jessica here. She's not well. We're taking her to the hospital for evaluation. I'm so sorry for everything she's put you through. Is she okay? Despite everything, I felt a twinge of concern. Physically, yes. Mentally, we've been worried for a while. This might be the wake-up call she needs to get help. Mrs. Patterson paused. The officers mentioned a restraining order? Yes, I'm sorry, but it's necessary. I understand completely. We'll make sure she respects it once she's better. Take care of yourself, Peter. And Tyler, too. After hanging up, I felt a strange mix of relief and sadness. 4 years of my life, ending with police and psychiatric holds. Tyler pulled me into a hug. You okay? Yeah, it's just, I really hope she gets help. That's not your responsibility anymore, he reminded me gently. My phone buzzed with an email from Victoria. The emergency restraining order had been approved. Jessica would be served as soon as she was released from the hospital. The rest of the day passed in a blur. Tyler and I went to his place to give me some space from my apartment. His roommate was traveling, so we had the place to ourselves. For the first time in days, I felt like I could breathe. Thank you, I said as we sat on his couch that evening. For everything. For standing by me. For not running when things got crazy. Tyler took my hand. I meant what I said. I care about you. Have for a long time. Even after all this drama, especially after all this, I've seen you at your strongest, standing up to manipulation, setting boundaries, protecting yourself. Do you know how attractive that is? I leaned in and kissed him, soft and sure. When we pulled apart, Tyler was smiling. So, what happens now? I asked. Now we take things one day at a time. You heal from this. We see where this, he gestured between us, goes. No pressure, no rush. My phone buzzed. A text from Stacy. Heard about today. Are you okay? If you need anything, I'm here. P.S. Jessica's friends are finally seeing the truth. Even Mia admitted she was wrong. I showed Tyler. The flying monkeys are abandoning ship. Good. Maybe they'll think twice before enabling someone's toxic behavior next time. We ordered Thai food and watched movies, carefully avoiding anything with romantic drama. Tyler held me close, and for the first time in years, I felt genuinely safe and cared for. That night, as we lay in Tyler's bed, I thought about the journey from that morning 2 days ago, when I discovered Jessica had left. The betrayal, the rage, the desperate need for revenge that led me to text Tyler. I'd thought I was being vindictive, but maybe some part of me had known even then that I needed something real, something honest. What are you thinking about? Tyler asked softly. Just how different things could have been if I'd left after Hawaii, if I'd been stronger. Hey, Tyler propped himself up on an elbow. You were strong. You set a boundary. It's not your fault she violated it, and you're free now. The next few days passed quietly. The restraining order was officially served. Jessica, according to her mother's texts, was receiving inpatient treatment. Her friends had stopped harassing me entirely. Apparently, seeing her complete breakdown had been a wake-up call. I returned to work, where my colleagues were supportive and understanding. My boss even pulled me aside to say he was impressed with how I'd handled everything. Tyler and I continued to take things slow, going on actual dates now that the crisis had passed. Coffee shops, restaurants, walks in the park, normal couple activities that felt revolutionary after years of Jessica's drama. A week later, we attended the restraining order hearing. Jessica appeared with her parents and a lawyer. She looked different, subdued, medicated perhaps. She didn't try to approach me or make eye contact. The judge reviewed the evidence and granted a 1-year restraining order. As we left the courthouse, I felt a chapter of my life officially closing. You did it, Tyler said, squeezing my hand. We did it, I corrected. That weekend, Tyler helped me rearrange my apartment, removing traces of Jessica and making the space feel like mine again. We hung new art, moved furniture, even painted an accent wall. It was therapeutic, transforming the scene of so much drama into something new. My phone had been blissfully quiet since the restraining order was served. No texts from random numbers, no harassment, no manipulation, just normal messages from friends and family, many checking in to see how I was doing. Marcus and Sarah threw a small dinner party, ostensibly to celebrate Tyler's job situation being resolved, but really to show support for both of us. Being surrounded by genuine friends who had our backs felt incredible after years of Jessica's toxic friend group. You two seem good together, Sarah observed, watching Tyler and me cooking side by side in her kitchen. It's still new, I said, but I was smiling. But yeah, it feels right. After everything you've been through, you deserve something healthy and real. Tyler and I had talked about taking things slow, but the connection between us was undeniable. We fit together in a way Jessica and I never had. Easy conversation, shared interests, mutual respect. No walking on eggshells, no manipulation, no drama. Just two people genuinely enjoying each other's company. One evening, about 2 weeks after the restraining order hearing, Tyler and I were at my place making dinner when my phone rang. Mrs. Patterson. Hi, Peter. I wanted to update you. Jessica is doing better. The doctors think she may have been having a manic episode, possibly triggered by substance use and Magaluf. She's responding well to treatment. I'm glad to hear that, I said, and meant it. She's starting to accept responsibility for her actions. It's a long road, but it's a start. She paused. She asked me to tell you she's sorry. Really sorry. Not the manipulative kind. She knows she hurt you badly. Thank you for telling me. I hope she continues to get better. Take care of yourself, Peter. You're a good man. Tyler's lucky to have you. After hanging up, I told Tyler about the conversation. How do you feel about that? He asked. Relieved, I think, that she's getting help, that maybe she'll be okay eventually. I stirred the pasta sauce thoughtfully, but it doesn't change anything for me. I'm exactly where I want to be. Tyler wrapped his arms around me from behind. Good, because I'm exactly where I want to be too. As we sat down to dinner, I reflected on how much had changed. The apartment that had felt like a prison now felt like home. The relationship that had drained me for years was replaced by one that energized me. The friends who had enabled toxic behavior were replaced by ones who supported healthy boundaries. My phone sat silent on the counter, no longer a source of anxiety, but just a tool for staying connected with people who actually cared about my well-being. The restraining order was just paper, but what it represented was so much more. My freedom, my strength, my choice to never again accept less than I deserved. Tyler raised his glass of wine. To new beginnings. I clinked my glass against his. To new beginnings. As we ate and talked and laughed, I realized this was what a relationship should feel like. Not a constant battle or performance, but a partnership. Not perfect, nothing ever was, but real and honest and worth protecting. The girls' trip to Magaluf that had seemed like the end of everything had actually been the beginning of standing up for myself, of recognizing my worth, of opening myself to something better. Jessica was getting the help she needed. I was free to live my life, and Tyler and I were building something genuine together. Sometimes the best revenge really was living well, and for the first time in years, I was doing exactly that.